Whatever path you are on, whatever inspired you to come here today, we honor you and we welcome you. And now, our message.
Good morning. Good morning. Hi, I'm Reverend Allie Benjamin, and welcome to the Sati Center. Here at, maybe this is the North Campus over here? So welcome to the Sati Center at YCC. We're really grateful to have this space and thank the YCC for making it available to us every Sunday morning. If you're here for the first time, welcome. And if you're here because you just love coming back, welcome. Today we are continuing our theme for February, which is the creative process. The creative process. The creative process. And it's also the month of love. It's February. So I'm combining those two things. The creative process and love. And they kind of go together, don't they?
Yep.
Yeah? Yeah, they do. So, as I thought about okay, what's important about the creative process? What spiritual principle and practice could I share with you today that could help you be more aware of your place in this creative process? So in my studies, I came across this concept of surrendering to love. And so I'm going to tie that together. Why is surrendering to love important in the creative process? But before I get to that, I want to talk about the evolution of humanity. And so I want to share with you my philosophy of what we're doing here at this particular time and space, on the very leading edge of reality, or on the very leading edge of consciousness. And I believe that if we go back all the way to the beginning of what scientists have recorded or told us about the Big Bang, 13.8 billion years ago, something happened. And ever since that something, there's been a momentum, and we call it time and space. And there's been this evolution of what we know as the physical universe in time and space. So I think that we're here on the very leading edge of that evolutionary trajectory. Thank you. Trajectory. So I believe that that's what we are. We are the evolution of time and space and physical matter showing up as us. Our particular unique expression of this amazing thing called life, called God, called spirit. And that we're threefold. We have a physical body, we have a thinking, rational, reasoning mind, and we have this something special, this thing that people refer to as a soul, or spirit, or love. And so we are all of that, aren't we?
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you, Luis. I have to pronounce your name correctly, Luis. We are three in one, and we're a part of this continuum. Does that make sense to everyone? Okay, so we are a part of this creation that's happening through the evolutionary process. And we also have the ability to create ourselves. We are creative, right? So we can learn from the universe. We can learn from our history. We can learn from nature about how to be creative. Because everything in nature seems to do it naturally without any struggle. The trees grow, the flowers grow, everything seems to be happening magically and mysteriously and beautifully, and scriptures have talked about it. There's been sacred texts like the Tao that focuses its energy on this amazing natural order and life and flow. Well, we're a part of that, each of us. So let us learn from nature as to how to become creators of our reality. Now, I believe, standing here at the very edge of creation, that humanity are the first species, and I'm sure I'm wrong about this, but I'm going to say it anyway, that human beings are the first species that are actually conscious of themselves. Now, there could be other planets and other solar systems and galaxies where, this isn't true. But from my understanding, we are the species that's conscious of being conscious. So we're actually participating in our evolution. We've made choices as a species that could promote our species or destroy our species. So in that regard, we are able to control our evolution or our continuum through the choices that we make. So it's very important, I believe, at this particular time in our evolution that we understand the importance of what we think and what we do and what we create, because our lives depend upon it. Mm-hmm. Now that sounds a bit scary, but it's true. It's true. So there's been a lot of teachers over the course of our recent history that have shared information like Gandhi. If you want peace, then you have to be the change that you're seeking. We have to take responsibility for what we're creating. And Science of Mind teaches us that we can actually study our mind and we can choose to think the thoughts that we want. Did you know that? Did you know that you actually get to choose the thoughts you think? No? Yes?
Yes.
You're choosing to say no, or you're choosing not to speak of it. So that information in and of itself is really powerful, to know that you can choose your thoughts. You don't have to get carried away down a negative stream of a stream of negative inner monologues or dialogues. You can actually choose to stop that nonsense and to think a new thought, to think a life-affirming thought, to think a thought that will create something that you like, that you want, that will do good. We live in a reciprocal universe. We live in a universe that has laws. We live in a universe of attraction, an energy-based universe that responds to our thoughts. Like attracts like. Happy attracts happy. Sad attracts sad. So we get to create the environment with our mind of what we want to experience. So, my title, which is Surrender to Love. I want to talk about this idea of surrender, because really in the creation process, in our own personal creation process, we can sabotage what we create by our negative thinking. So it's our mind that gets in the way of creating what we want, creating peace, creating harmony, creating easy relationships, creating a wonderful job that nourishes us with abundance. We have this little mind that can sometimes sabotage us. So the art of surrender is about surrendering away from the negative and surrendering the giving up or letting go of those negatives and surrendering and being at peace with what is. That's how nature models this creative process. Being in peace and not having a negative opinion or judgment about how life is. That's how we differ from the rest of the animal life on this planet and the plant life on this planet. We have a mind that interferes with our creation process. Mm-hmm. So surrendering into a place of non-judgment, we can move away from doubt. We can move away from certain thoughts that keep us creating something that we don't want, and surrender into what is. Just surrender simply into the now moment. How about surrendering into not being right? Does Does anyone have that thing going on they like to be right? So when we're triggered, we especially want to sort of, react or respond. And so the surrender in that is just surrendering and allowing what's unfolding to unfold without your negative participation in it. Surrendering your need to control, or surrendering your need to be right, or surrendering the idea that things should be a certain way. How about accepting reality as it is? Just like the flowers and the trees. They seem to have a natural way of accepting things coming and going. We can be easy like that with ourselves. That doesn't mean we just agree with everything negative. It just means we don't add our mental story onto things. I found this quote that surrender in Sanskrit is a word, samprada, which is the ability to give yourself wholly to something, to flow like water, to not force things. That's the kind of surrender I'm inviting you to participate in this week. This way of just being easy with things. Because I know that when I'm easy with life, and I know what I want, that's a very important thing too, knowing what you want. When I know what I want and I surrender to life and I'm less reactive and triggered and want to put out my 2 cents and want to give my opinion or all of that, then the creation of what I want actually unfolds way easier. Because I'm not confusing that creative flow with the negative energies of doubt, of fear, of anger, of frustration, because all of those things have effects. We don't want to confuse our creation of love and beauty and peace and service on this planet with those other energies which will slow down our creative process of bringing into our reality what we want. There's a great teacher, Dr. Judith Orloff. Has anyone read any of her material? She's written a great book called The Ecstasy of Surrender. The Ecstasy of Surrender. And she says surrender is the grace of letting go at the right moment. Of knowing how to let go when the time is right, without torturing yourself with self-doubt or overthinking things. Sounds nice, huh? It's like, yeah, that's how I'm going to live my life from now on out. I'm going to live in this place of surrender. But then something happens, and then we move into that place of reaction. And so I'm suggesting when you feel that trigger, that you feel that so familiar, egoic desire to be right, or to give an opinion, or to try and control, to just simply surrender. Let's take a breath and just surrender. It's like the most natural thing ever. And then we get up into the head and we're like, wait. So we surrender into our heart. We surrender into the very core of who we are. That's surrendering into love. You surrender out of the ego and into your essence. And your essence is way more likely not to have a negative opinion. Your essence is way more likely not to have, doesn't even care about being right. Doesn't even care. So let's take a breath and just sort of release that need to be right. Okay, breathe in. Feels good, huh? Yeah, that's the art of surrender. Ramana Maharishi said, surrender who you are to who you could be. Surrender who you are to who you could be. When I read that, I think of surrendering my little self, my egoic self, to my essential self, to that wise, graceful, beautiful, cool, intelligent goddess that I am. What if I showed up that way every day, in every conversation I had? Wouldn't you love me? What if we really lived that way? What if we truly honored that namaste? The divinity in me honors the divinity in you. We actually showed up as that divine being all the time. So maybe if that sounds appealing to you, you might like to look at the reasons that just came up in your mind as to why you wouldn't think that was a good idea. Yeah, but there's such a fill in the blank. We all have the ability to surrender to the love that we are. And when we do, we show up, as Lyle was talking about in that reading, as our self-realized being. That's who we really are. We came here, mission Earth, as human beings. We came here to Earth on a mission to be the presence of love. We just didn't get the memo. We weren't taught that as children, but that's why we're here. And then we started to somehow gather all kinds of reasons as to why that won't work for us. We came in as the presence of love. We came in with all that is required to live from the heart level. We came in completely surrendered to our love. Let's remember that. Let's just be who we really are and show up in the world as the presence of love all the time. So there's some questions to find out how surrendered you are. Would you like to know them?
Yes.
Okay. This is for Cindy.
It's my turn.
Do you recognize that you cannot control everything?
Yes.
You know that? Or is that like, oh my God, that's the first time I Can you admit that you're not right?
Yes.
Yes.
Really?
Sometimes.
That's hard.
Now we're all this in progress. This, we don't just hear this and then it becomes our truth right away. Sometimes there's some growing pains. Can you apologize?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
So this is something that you might like to think about this week. Is there someone that you haven't apologized to? Because what apologies do, talk about the freedom, workshop, the forgiveness workshop, but apologies can liberate us. Forgiveness can liberate us. Because we just come back to ourselves. We just come back to ourselves. Can you be spontaneous and not always have to plan everything?
Yes.
How surrendered are you? We're just exploring here. Okay, so all of those of you that were triggered by that question, all you planners and manipulators and controllers of things, all the rest of you don't have to do this, but those ones that are that type of person, let's just take a breath. Okay, so here's another question to see how surrendered you are. Can you enjoy life?
Yes.
Yes.
Are you having fun?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Because you can think you can enjoy life, but are you having fun? That's the demonstration. That's proof that you really can surrender into the joy that's available to you when you let go of all that other stuff. So, what stops you from really creating the life that you were born to live? Think about that this week. And you could find that it has something to do with your inability or your unwillingness to surrender to the heart of who you really are. Because what I know about each one of us is that we're beautiful, unique, amazing, wonderful lights of spirit. Here for a short time, 100 years or so, to bring forth the very unique, particularly unique expression of life that you are. I think it was Dr. Wayne Dyer in one of his books or one of his talks said, don't die with your song still alive within you. There is a particular sweetness, a particular message, a particular gift, a particular feeling of love that you're here to bring that the rest of us require. And when we can all do that, that's oneness. That's being awake. That's us on the leading edge of evolution, taking humanity to that next step. So that's our job. So Mission Earth, you're here to, bring that ego into your heart, to express your essence and be on the evolution of humanity. Simply surrender to the love that you are and sharing it abundantly and generously in spite of what everyone else is doing. That's grace. That's allowing grace. Thank you. So let's close our eyes and breathe. And recognize that there is only love. The rest of it's just a story. There is only love. So let us open to that love right now. Let us see that love building and building in our hearts. And let us know that spark of love, that spirit, has always been there. Right at the center of who you are, right at the very core of each being. So let us recognize that light now. It is the source, it is the power, it is the wisdom that each one of us has. This is the common thread. This is what ties us all together, connects us all as one. So it is within this field of oneness that I speak these words. Because I know that my words are part of the creative process. That I actually get to choose words and create in this wonderful life experience that we're all sharing. Each one of us has this ability to become conscious co-creators with spirit in making a world that works for everyone. So I speak my word now for peace, knowing that peace begins with me, peace is in my heart, peace is in my mind, peace moves through everything I say and everything I do and all that I am. I know that I surrender right now into being love. I simply show up as the presence of love. kind, and generous. I know how to love myself first. I have firm boundaries. I honor myself and I honor all beings for the beautiful expressions of spirit that they are. So let's send a blessing out together. From our hearts to every heart in this room, and see our love, light, rippling out. And just feel it right now. Feel your love expanding in your body, moving out through each and every cell. Love and light moving out to each person in this room. Love moving out throughout Ogden. May all beings without exception experience unconditional love, now and always. And send this blessing out across our state, across our country, our continent, throughout all bodies of water, throughout all landmass, through each sentient being, through the rain and the sun. All of it infused with love and appreciation. We're so blessed. We are so blessed. So I simply say thank you. Thank you for the amazing gift of life, for the infinite eternal reservoir of love that sources and supplies me and every other being on this planet. Thank you. And so it is.
So it is.
Thank you for blessing us with your presence today and being a part of the Satya Center. You're invited to join Reverend Allie and Reverend Lyle each Sunday morning at 10 a.m. for your dose of connection, inspiration, and co-creation. The Satya Center is located at 795 24th Street, Ogden, Utah. For directions, a map, and our service times, please see our website, thesatyacenter.org. This program was brought to you by the kind donations from the members of the Satya Center. Thank you.